Jacob, will you marry me?
That's what I'm going to do to our wedding night. Hello, everyone. What's going on? This is the Digicast 22. There's been 22 of these. 22.
Can you believe it?
22.
It is funny, though. I think we've said that the last, few times. I can't believe that there's even still an audience for this cast. It's kind of amazing when you think about it.
You need to start believing. Get to your believing.
They just keep listening. I don't understand.
The Lord Jesus Christ has ordained this cast. Only this cast. Yeah. The higher the cast number, the closer you are to Jesus. So it's great. Well, how did you guys have a good last week? We didn't do one last week because I was actually out of town, and I wasn't getting back until the Tuesday, and then it was kind of late, and I'm like, we'll just skip this week, and then we'll come back strong next week. Super Bowl Sunday. I was watching the Super Bowl. I'm guessing you guys weren't.
Yeah.
I don't have cable, so I can't. If I wanted to.
I wasn't watching it at all. Also, I don't pay for cable either.
That's okay. Whenever I move into my new place in a couple months, I will not have cable either. So that
I imagine
is that.
They stream the Super Bowl though. Probably. I haven't even checked.
I'm sure someone does somewhere. With online streaming just growing and just spiking exponentially, cable companies are crying their eyes out right now. So they're probably doing whatever they possibly can to stay alive. As we were talking about earlier in our chat, our chatty chat.
Yes.
Yeah. But you, Scott, apparently wanted to start this episode off by firing off some questions at me so I could answer them, deflect them back at you and our viewers.
I do, and some of these are super overdue because they are from 2 weeks ago, and you were not there, Jacob. You weren't there.
I know.
Bad.
I know. Do you forgive me?
No.
Have me back.
So the first thing I want to start off with is this one from Tucker.
Okay.
He said, hey, you guys said you would discuss some Rogue One after the new year hit. Then we said that back in mid-December.
Did we did?
Do you mind doing that now? I would love to hear what you guys thought of the movie. However, I am certain that Nathaniel still hasn't seen a Star Wars movie yet.
No, not true. I've seen Star Wars 4, 5, and 6, but that's it.
Oh, that's so good to hear, actually. Hopefully you
even
even saw
those.
the original cut.
My roommate showed me whatever was on his DVD. He said they weren't the original cut.
Okay.
But whatever.
Oh, it
I
was
saw
probably the
them.
2004 DVD. For the most part,
Yeah.
those are good, aside from a few changes. I mean,
Yeah, he told me exactly what was the original. He's a huge Star Wars nut. He's like, yeah, this is bad. This is the CGI they added that they shouldn't have added. All that.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, yeah, so let's get into some Rogue One. We'll do this real quick since this is a video game show and we want all our listeners to be pissed off that we're talking about anything else besides video games. How dare we? We shouldn't have any other interests.
Indeed. Although I don't know a single person who plays video games who does not like Star Wars. Just saying.
I don't either. Star Wars brings families together, so it's one of those things that we can all join in unison and be pissed off that George Lucas has changed stuff over the years.
Nathaniel, did you like Star Wars?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Okay, yeah. Like I said, don't know anybody who plays video games.
Guys, okay.
It's all good.
We're not going to quit doing this cast together, guys. It's okay.
We can still be friends.
So you still haven't answered the question.
I like Rogue One. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a fantastic little piece of cinema there. I mean, it wasn't perfect, but I thought it was a pretty solid piece of film. So I enjoyed it.
Okay.
I'm sensing some disagreement from you.
It felt like a really expensive fan film, and it had its moments.
Can we just talk about? Can we gush really quick and just talk about the scene? You know exactly what scene I'm talking about. Can we just talk about
scene, right?
Yes. Can we talk about that scene?
We can talk about it.
Oh, good. Okay, good. Vader finally, after a good 20 something years of my life, I've wanted that scene, because in the original trilogy we did get to see him be a commanding badass, and then there were times where we got to see him slightly unleash, but there was no time we got to actually see Vader just absolutely unleash and enjoy what he's doing. Like you could see through his mask, through the beady little eyes, the eyepieces, that he
The
was
beady little
enjoying slaughtering humans. Like, he was having fun doing it. And I was sitting there in tears about how excited I was during it. Because I was like, yes,
real
I get to see
anger.
Vader killing people. Finally!
Yeah. It was brutal, man. But like,
It was brutal.
you know what's interesting too is that and I don't really care about spoiling this because it's the prequels, and I know that Nathaniel hasn't seen the prequels, but you know, like in episode 3.
Oh
it's
yeah, we
just
should
not the
say
same.
spoilers, guys, even though I've already like kind of spoiled the end of Rogue One. So sorry.
Yeah, a little late for that. But in episode 3, when Hayden Christensen, I'm not going to actually call him Anakin Skywalker because, let's face it, those aren't real Star Wars movies.
Oh my god.
Even if they are directed by George Lucas, but they're not.
I just rewatched those and like
I don't want to get
God.
deep into the prequels, but something about the fact that like the Rogue One Vader scene is so much more impactful and just dramatic and intense than the implied scene of that same character allegedly, of course they don't show it, allegedly killing a bunch of kids, right? Like, why is it that when that happened in episode 3, I kind of shrug and I'm like, meh, I don't care. But then when I see that in Rogue One, I'm like, wow, he is freaking evil. And like, they just proved it to me, finally.
Yeah.
But it was always just implied.
Yeah, he was always, like you said, he was just implied to be this evil, monstrous being that was more machine than man. But then, you know, in Rogue One, you finally saw it. I mean, you saw the just unleashed nature and potential of Darth Vader as a villain. And he still is, even with just the original trilogy, he is still my favorite villain of all time by far. But Rogue One just heightened that, just in every single possible category. But I will say, I did just get done rewatching the prequel trilogy. I'm watching the entire series right now with Elise. And I pretty well just cannot stand The Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones. But I will say, Revenge of the Sith does have its moments for me. There are some redeeming qualities to that movie, and I don't think it's entirely a piece of shit. I actually do kind of enjoy it at times. I mean, the opening scene where Anakin and Obi-Wan are flying around, that's fun. That's good fun. You know, there's some decent humor in there. Some of the fight scenes are cool. I mean, the story as a whole, like, I don't really mind it at all. I think it's fair. It's decent, but I don't want to get too much into it because we could talk like an entire hour about Star Wars and the prequels and why they're shit, and like we could argue and it'd be great. But yeah,
you know what we could do is we could just talk about how much I don't like sand because it's
coarse and rough.
It's coarse and it gets everywhere.
It just gets everywhere, Scott. Everywhere. Everywhere. And Nathaniel does not understand what we're talking about.
I hate those movies so much.
It gets everywhere.
I hate those movies, man. I just
it's only because I'm so in love with you, Scott.
Anakin Skywalker style hatred. I hate those movies. Fear leads to anger, and anger leads to prequels.
Yeah. Okay. Let's move on to the next question because we got to get off this right now because two giant Star Wars nuts talking about the prequels is just not going to lead to anything good.
Yeah, we just lost 20 subs.
Let's not do 5 questions because we're already 8 minutes into this.
I knew this was going to be an issue talking about Star Wars for the very first question.
Maybe just one more or we move on.
What's the next one?
The next one.
Oh, by the way, this is Scott talking right now. Or I mean, sorry, this is Jacob talking right now. I'm quote unquote your host. And with me I have Nathaniel Bandy, who does his own channel.
You're choosing now to introduce us?
I'm choosing now to
10
introduce
minutes
everyone.
in.
So Nathaniel, what do you do on the internet? Let's quickly introduce ourselves for all the
Whoa,
new viewers out there.
I make Nintendo videos.
Awesome.
They're really great. I'm almost at 100,000 subscribers. And I have to ask, this was so abrupt.
Yeah.
Gonna get that 100K sub money.
Yeah.
It's getting close. The goal is to hit 100,000 before the Switch comes out, and I think it's possible.
Yeah, you need to get lots of fat stacks of cash so you can buy Switches for Scott, because he's apparently going to have like 7 of them littered throughout his house and work. So we got to do whatever we possibly can to donate. Are we going to start a GoFundMe for Scott to get 7 Switches?
With 3. I will get to 7 later, but I'm going to start with 3.
Oh, only 3. Only 3.
Jeez.
Wow, man. Oh, and anyway, this is Scott. Introduce yourself, Scott.
Hi, I am Scott Lee.
Okay.
Independent video game developer who hasn't even released his announcement trailer, but is working very hard on it right now.
And Switch
except
aficionado.
not right this second, because I'm talking on the podcast.
He's basically what we all want scalpers to be, because they actually keep their product.
What?
I don't really know. That was supposed to be a joke, but that kind of just came out like all mushy in like the banana I just ate earlier. It wasn't good. I'm sorry. I tried to do something there, but it just wasn't good. It fell on my face.
The banana was probably better than that 5-day-old burrito you had that one time.
Yeah. I can't
get that out of my brain.
Pretty
Better than
much
Domino's
anything
pizza.
was better than that. Yeah, that too.
Better than Domino's pizza. Ugh.
The shit
Gross.
that I took like 30 minutes ago is better than any Papa John's pizza I've ever had.
Can I read this question now, or are we just gonna keep talking about?
I think we should move on.
Okay.
About mushy shit and Papa John's.
Where are we
Yes.
moving on to? I'm totally lost.
I thought I was gonna get a second question.
Yeah, okay. Here's the second question. This one's from Dean.
God.
If you were locked in a room and forced to play one game for the rest of your life, what game would it be, Jacob?
Oh man. It depends. Do I have online play or not?
Ooh, good question.
No.
Yes. Yes, you do, I believe.
Rocket League.
I finally played that a couple weeks ago.
It's
Game is
so
amazing.
good. It's so good.
Much fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, Rocket League or Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. Those are my two answers.
Is Link to the Past what you would do minus internet connection? Is that
Yes.
kind of what you were thinking?
Yeah, if I had no internet connection, Link to the Past. If I had internet connection, Rocket League.
Nice. That's a good answer.
Rocket League. So, a couple of, like big pieces of news came out this week. Some newsy news, and
Oh, indeed.
one of them is about the Switch's online service. Apparently, is only going to cost somewhere between 2,000 and 3,000 yen, which roughly is like 17 to 26-ish dollars.
Yeah.
If this is true, apparently it is true. That's what Tatsumi Kimishima said in an interview.
Yeah.
So apparently this is true. If this does come to fruition, that would be amazing. I still wish that they would give you a free game because Nintendo, come on, you can afford to give us a free NES game every month. It's okay. Don't worry. It's okay, Nintendo. You can do it. But otherwise, that's fantastic. That's being competitive with PlayStation and Xbox. So, yeah.
That's really competitive because Xbox Live and PlayStation Network costs like up to $50, even more than that for a year. So $20 a year? Like anyone can afford that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, no, apparently not everyone can, because there's still going to be like a bunch of 12-year-olds in the comments bitching about anything that costs money. So yeah.
Well,
It
sure.
was
if
really
you bring
funny
them to
reading
fruition.
Twitter about that because like that news came out and like my entire Twitter feed was just nothing but tweets that were like, wow, this is so reasonable. I can't believe it's going to not be that expensive and that's so cheap and et cetera, et cetera.
Well, if
'Cause
it
it is
does
really
happen,
cheap.
it makes up for Nintendo. It slightly makes up for Nintendo overcharging for everything else, in my opinion. But, you know, that's just me. And apparently everyone thinks I fucking hate Nintendo, so yeah.
Well, you are the only one here that is not going to get a Switch at launch.
Yeah,
so-
It
because I'm
is.
such
It's
an
gonna happen.
anti-Nintendo. I'm such a Nintendo hater.
I mean, I don't think you're a Nintendo lover per se.
Oh, yeah, I love Nintendo.
I mean,
I bought a Wii U. I automatically have to love Nintendo to own a Wii U.
that's true. And you're sticking that Wii U thing out until the very, very end.
The very
With-
end. I like
with
Paper Mario
Breath of
Color
the
Splash.
Wild.
If I'm not in a
That's true.
greasy, ugly Nintendo fanboy, I don't know who is.
You are hardcore
I am
with the Wii U.
I'm a greasy son of a bitch.
Agreed.
I did. This is random, but I did cancel my Breath of the Wild pre-order the other day, and I put it all on Nier Automata and Yooka-Laylee. Because I really just want to wait. I want to wait and see how much better the Switch version of that game really is. Because if it's really not a lot better, then I'll go buy the Wii U version. But if it is substantially better, I'm gonna hold out. I'm gonna just get the Switch version whenever Super Mario Odyssey comes out, or Fire Emblem Warriors, whichever one
You're
happens
gonna
first.
wait 6 months to play Zelda. I don't believe that. I really don't believe that.
Okay, that's fine.
Let's make a bet. A
oh
good
God.
bet. Not one of your bets.
We're so
That's the answer to everything.
Everyone missed the last 2 weeks where we couldn't have our amazing world-renowned bets on here on the Digicast. Everyone missed these. What are the terms?
Okay. If you play Breath of the Wild before Mario Odyssey comes out, you have to give me $20. But if you do wait till then you have to give me $20.
Oh, dude, sold. Deal.
Okay, deal.
Deal. Win-win either way. I get to pay an amazing, lovely, famous YouTuber $20 either way. Of course, I'm going to take this deal.
Yes.
I'm not being shafted whatsoever.
No, not at all.
Okay, great.
I'm trying to be on your terms. These are the kind of bets that you like to make. So I just wanted to make sure that you'd be okay with that.
I agree. No, I completely agree with what I'm hearing right now.
Okay, good.
Good. We have a bet. Sold.
You heard it first here on the Digicast, guys.
Number 22, uploaded on February 6th, hopefully, 2017. So we will
not believe
we will see.
22. Crazy.
I am older than that. I am older than 22.
Hey, yeah. We did it.
Don't make me feel ridiculously old.
I feel like this part of the conversation is going nowhere, so I'm just going to steer us next, just right back on track.
Let's switch to a new topic.
Oh, shit. So GameStop had some fun things happen this week. Apparently, they are selling a lot of used games as new. And they're also turning away sales. Well, not exactly turning away sales, but they're telling people that they don't have any new games, so that way they can sell them as used games and make more money, apparently, on them. What? I barely researched this because that shows how much I care about this show. So
let me just read it real quick. This is from Kotaku.
Yeah, you do it.
It says, have you gone to GameStop over the past few months and tried to buy a new game? Have they told you that it's not in stock? They may simply be lying to you, fueled by a new program that discourages GameStop salespeople from selling unopened copies of video games. The program, called Circle of Life, gives each GameStop store different percentage quotas for pre-orders, reward card subscriptions, used game sales, and game trade-ins. Each of these quotas is based on the store's total transactions. Pre-orders and reward card subscriptions are based on the number of transactions, while used game sales and trade-ins are based on the total dollar value of transactions. If the store's quota for used game sales is 30% and the store sells $1,000 worth of merchandise, GameStop expects at least $300 of that merchandise to be pre-owned. So in other words, this is a massive incentive given to employees to push pre-owned games on people, even if that's not what they want, and to incentivize them to be dishonest about new games that are actually in stock, because GameStop simply believes that they got to move that pre-owned inventory.
So basically, GameStop is just a big fat dick. Basically.
And I just don't understand. I can't imagine why, This is one of the last standing big retail game chains, in the U.S. Okay,
and they're screwing it up.
And we're talking Captain Falcon size dick here. That's how big we're talking.
This is unbelievable. So instead of innovating and instead of coming up with a way to adapt to where the market is going, they've come up with this stupid scheme, and it is retarded.
I think that the CEO of GameStop should be locked away with the murderers and child rapists of the U.S.
Actually,
not.
I think that's how bad I think that's how bad he is, or she. I don't want to discriminate.
Well, the CEO should actually try working at GameStop for a couple months under those guidelines and see how they think. Because I doubt those people have actually worked there before. They probably never worked in retail a day in their lives.
Well, it's just like the Nintendo. Apparently, the Nintendo shareholders have probably never developed a game in their entire life, so it's the same thing.
Probably not.
It's the same thing. But yeah, that would be a fair punishment.
Don't play the mobile games that they want Nintendo to make. Yeah. Sorry, sorry. Back to what we were talking about.
I felt a little sting there. I definitely feel that if this is equally as bad of a punishment. if the CEO of GameStop tomorrow had to, let's just say, get locked up on an island somewhere with the murderers and the rapists and the terrorists of the world, I think that'd be a fair punishment for what he's doing. He is equally as bad as someone who has slit the throat of thousands of people. Or he could just work at one of my local GameStops.
Either or.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that's a fair and sound punishment.
But realistically, that's what's going to happen is when GameStop goes down and becomes bankrupt, the CEO is going to get a golden parachute and never have to work a day again in his life.
Exactly.
That's actually what's going to happen. That's real life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're totally
But
not
why
saying
go bankrupt.
We're totally not saying
Why-
that the CEO's Donald Trump or anything. I'm just
I don't understand like why that should be the mindset when you could not go bankrupt. You could continue making lots of money, and then that's better for everyone, including the customer.
I mean, what they should be doing is just focusing more on their online store and making it more accessible to purchase
Exactly.
games that way. Like maybe open up some
Yes.
sort of Steam service. If they were to do that, be a
Well,
really
yeah.
good way to adapt to the market. But no, of course not.
Well, then if they opened up a Steam service, think of how much money they could get by getting bullshit like Life of Black Tiger on there.
What? Never heard of that game.
Oh, you guys don't know what that is? Oh, God. My joke fell
No.
flat on its face because I'm with guys who only play Nintendo games, apparently.
Ooh.
No, Life of Black Tiger is a absolute piece of shit game that found its way on the PlayStation Network, and it's pretty great. I'm going to link a trailer here in the chat for you guys, and all of the viewers right now can go look it up. Life of Black Tiger. It was on the official Sony channel on YouTube. It's been promoted by them. It tells the tale of a wondrous black tiger who feels out of place and feels a little
wondrous black tiger.
a wondrous black tiger who's just making his way through the world, and he has a vivid and realistic experience through various missions. Apparently, that's what it says here in the YouTube trailer. But basically, he's just trying to make his way through the world, trying to make his way through life. He feels neglected and out of place because he's black. So, that's apparently that's a
Is
good.
that seriously the reason?
Apparently, that's a good metaphor to send to the children out there. And it's rated mature. I really don't know why. I mean, really don't know why. I guess from all the
I'm looking at the graphics for this.
Oh, it's
What?
great, dude. It's great.
It looks like it's like from the PS1 era.
Yeah, it definitely just looks like a
Like
a
what?
walking turd covered with fur walking around. Yeah.
What?
It's just the best part about this is it's on the official PlayStation YouTube channel. It's on there.
Also, from everything you described to me and looking at this trailer, there is nothing about this that suggests there's nothing about the mechanics I'm seeing that suggests in any way any of the things that you have just mentioned that this game is supposedly about.
Oh, that's because you've only seen the trailer right now. As you get in the game more, basically you find out that the black tiger felt neglected and felt out of place because of his color. So that's
Don't worry, guys.
that's
you can look
good.
forward to the Digicast's Let's Play of Life of a Black Tiger coming next week.
Yeah, a
all
whole
gonna play
Indie Jacob
together.
video is gonna be over it. I can't believe I didn't see a Super Bowl commercial for this yet.
Man. Oh my goodness. That looks really bad. That just between the contrast of looking at that gameplay and then hearing what you've told me and the fact that it's rated M, that just looks terrible. It just looks like a bad idea from every angle. I am shocked.
I love how you said that. I am shocked.
I mean, I am.
You sounded
I'm
like
just-
you belonged in the Star Wars prequels.
No.
No, you don't want to be in there, or no, that those movies just don't exist in any realm of your imagination.
Oh, those movies really are dead to me. In all seriousness,
Oh.
I don't actually count them as a part of Star Wars at all.
Oh, that's sad.
And I would say no offense to George Lucas, but no, like George Lucas can go kill himself.
You shan't you shan't besmirch the name of the creator, Scott.
I mean, like, he ruined people's childhoods. Like, I don't know if he understands
the way
that.
You're describing him,
you're
you're making him sound like he went into children's bedrooms and just like cattle prodded them in the anus repetitively at night. That's like what you're making it sound like.
Metaphorically, he got about halfway there, Jacob. Okay.
Oh my god.
It's almost as though that was on his mind. Okay. All I'm saying is that getting Star Wars out of that man's hands was the best thing that has ever happened to Star Wars in the history of Star Wars. And that guy was very clearly, after seeing the prequels, very clearly not the guy behind why the original trilogy was as good as it was.
No.
And that's, yes. I mean, the ability to come up with like fuzzy furry creatures or the Millennium Falcon or whatever it was that he contributed is not 100% special in my eyes. The ability to tell the story the way that it legitimately was so much more important. And I think that much more so fell into the hands of the other people who were working around him during the original trilogy. But no one challenged him creatively, and no one questioned any of his decisions, especially with episode 1.
So what you're telling me is that you just don't enjoy it being a space opera. That's what you're telling me, Scott.
No,
you don't like it being a space opera.
What I am telling you is that after Batman and Robin, the Star Wars prequels, episodes 1, 2, and 3, are some of the worst movies ever made, simply because they took something marvelous and they destroyed it.
I just like how I have not heard a single word come out of Nathaniel's mouth for the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, I'm just sitting on Twitter till you guys are done with Star Wars, so you know.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. Well, we'll all just stop thinking about how sand is coarse and rough and just gets everywhere, and then we'll get on with this podcast.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 had to get that out. Sorry. What the hell have we? What have we even been talking about? I don't even know.
I have no idea, how we drifted off into Star Wars land.
I really don't know what I've even said half of this time.
I think you got me started, and then I got you started, and we just ran with it.
I feel like
we ran far, far away into another galaxy a long time ago.
I feel like I can barely formulate a joke this time, so this episode's probably going to come off as really, really awkward, and I apologize for that. My mind is not in the right place now. That was my coaster that just fell.
It's funny because you said you wanted this to be a shorter podcast at first, and this will you'll probably end up just cutting out half of it anyway, so the end product will be half an hour.
Yeah, probably will. Well, let's let me again steer this back on track, right where Nathaniel's probably really not gonna have much more to say. So I finished Resident Evil VII the other day, and have either of you guys played it? I'm guessing not.
No.
It's really good. You guys should definitely play it.
I've been busy, Jacob. I'm creating my own magnificent game. Okay.
If you can teach me how to not sleep, then I will find the time to play Resident Evil 7.
Ooh, I can do that for you, Nathaniel.
See, what you have to do is you have to stop caring about the state of your channel. If you want to find time to play video games, as I have, you just have to stop caring about YouTube. That way you can actually play some damn games.
I don't think I could physically, mentally, or emotionally do that.
I'm kind of curious to know what Nathaniel would be like if he were massively sleep deprived, and what sort of hallucinations he may have as he
Oh, I know. It'd probably just be Pink Gold Peach just chasing me around all day.
Oh wow. That is fascinating, and this makes me want to do that. I really want to do this now. I want to just keep you up for 72 hours straight and just see what happens.
Yeah, my record I think is like 28 hours a week. Pretty sure.
Dude, that would be like the perfect live stream.
What's that?
Just to keep you up for 72 hours straight, and we'll surround you with
God.
pink, gold, peach objects of various kinds and posters.
Oh
and
my god, that would be
movie
terrifying.
clips. Oh my gosh, it would be fantastic.
I've done a couple 24-hour streams, but by the end, I'm just like, I can't talk or think or do anything.
Yeah.
Like I would have to just constantly drink Red Bull and soda and stuff to actually stay awake for that long.
I feel like
To be able
Scott's
to think.
nightmarish scene would be if I kept him awake for like 40 hours straight, and then I let him fall asleep for 1 hour, and then when I woke him back up, I had like 15 TVs surrounding him with nothing but Hayden Christensen's forced dialogue from episode 2.
You could do that, or you could do Batman and Robin, and it would probably be about the same effect. I mean,
Yeah, it's just going to be a
I know
constant
what's
loop.
better.
It's going to be a constant loop of the bat button, bat nipple shot from Batman and
Oh
Robin
my gosh,
playing.
no.
And you have to eat Papa John's pizza. as well.
Oh, that's horrifying.
That's it.
Oh my.
The problem with Papa John's, though, is that it would give me a insulin-induced sugar coma, and I would just pass out.
If we,
I wouldn't even be able to.
Nathaniel, if we did this to him, I would immediately elect us to be to go back on that island with the GameStop CEO and the child murderers and rapists. I feel like we would belong there.
Yeah, basically.
We would have to. That would be so terrible. The amount of torture the amount of torture and mental scarring that would have on Scott, he wouldn't even be able to finish his game. His game would turn from like real-time strategy into Five Nights at Freddy's with Papa John's being forced in your throat.
Well, that would be pretty tragic because I've been at this since 2015. So let's not do that.
Wow.
And let's go ahead and let me finish it.
The best part about this discussion that we're on right now is I think like 5 or 6 minutes ago I said that Resident Evil 7 was great and I was going to talk about it, and I've not said a single thing about it. I can elaborate
So what's
more
great about it?
on what I said. So if you all remember back into when did Resident Evil 3 come out? I think it was like 2001 or something. 1999, something like that. If you all remember back,
I was playing Age of Empires back then. I don't know.
well, did I ask your opinion, Scott? That was sarcasm, by the way, for everyone who doesn't know and wants to leave comments in this video saying that I'm an asshole or something, whatever.
Jacob's a douche.
I'm such a douchebag.
He's so mean to Nathaniel and Scott. Actually, I don't think they complain about you being mean to me, but
It's
I don't
always
know.
it's always about me. I don't know why.
yeah.
Freaking
Probably
bully.
like your subscribers flocking over here thinking I'm just mentally abusing you.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's why I come on here every week, because I just want to get abused by you.
Yeah.
Jacob, were you going to talk about Resident Evil some more?
Yeah, real quick. I need to mention to all I need to disclose to all our viewers though that I slip Nathaniel a big fat 20 before every episode just so I can mentally berate him on every single one of these podcasts.
Yep.
I think he wishes that were true.
That's the only the
No.
only way he can keep up with this full-time YouTube job is because I'm giving him $80 a month to just bash him.
Dude, that would be so nice.
That's
I could
so
use
much money.
Free dollars.
Yeah, that would
Not
fund
really.
your monthly Papa John's bill.
Yeah. If you were giving me $20 every month, I'd probably just spend it on Papa John's every time.
Oh my god. And you
So what were
constantly
you
go
saying
further
about
down the
Resident
rabbit
Evil
hole.
7?
Yeah, Resident Evil
Yeah, what were you
7.
saying?
It's a good game. The first person element of it is a nice departure from the series, especially because 5 and 6 were. I feel like 5 and 6 get a bad rap just because of the fact that they have Resident Evil in the name, and yeah, they're not great. I mean, they're not bad games. They're just not Resident Evil games. They went from the campy delight that Resident Evil 4 was, which also was creepy in some regards too. Like it did have some horror to it. They went from the survival horror aspect of the first few games in 4 to just crazy frenetic action blowing up in your face. I mean, just muscles and muscles and more muscles and Chris Redfield and muscles and like blood and explosions of Michael Bay and muscles. That's really all like 5 and 6 was. And
I feel like there's a huge difference between what I remember, and let me be very, very clear. my experience with Resident Evil is like Resident Evil 2, like way back in the day. And I feel like they went a totally different direction by the time, like what you're talking about, like 4, 5, and 6. And then they also came out with all those ridiculous movies. And I stopped being interested after like Resident Evil 2, dude.
Oh, the movies are so bad. Oh, they're so bad. So yeah, with Resident Evil 7, I'm definitely proud to say that they kind of went back to the horror roots of everything. Resident Evil 7 feels like the best parts of 4 and 1 were just kind of thrown in a blender, and this is what came out. This is like the delicious smoothie that came out of that blender. And because there are some parts that have a little more tense and heavy action, like what 4 had, and then there's like a couple little campy parts, nothing major, just a few little lighthearted moments. And then there are just some just insane boss fights. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen the garage car fight by any chance. I don't know if you've seen that on YouTube or not. But that fight is just,
that one.
It is so well put together. I mean, when I first played it, I was like kind of annoyed because I had absolutely no idea what was going on, and I was still figuring out the mechanics of that game up until that point. But whenever like the actual like car fight happens and there's a certain moment where everything clicks, you're so into it because Jack, who's the head of the household of this family that's just gone insane and you're trying to get away from and kill, he's just screaming at you, and you're just, everything's on fire, and oh my god, just play it. Like, you guys need to play it. It's so bad. It's so good. It's so good. Like, Resident Evil 7 it just brought the entire series back, just like Star Wars. The 7th episode just reignited my entire hope for the franchise as a whole. Just thank you. Thank God.
So it gave you new hope?
It gave me a new hope. The Force awakened in my pants that night whenever I found out that Resident Evil 7 was good.
Okay, so I'm going to add Resident Evil 7 to my list because I have like a long list of games that I'm super behind on.
It's very
Right.
good.
Yeah,
And
actually,
it's really not
I
too
finally.
long either.
Yeah, I want to play Resident Evil 7, but there's still like 10 must-play games. Like, I finally just started Donkey Kong Country Returns on the Wii like last week. I'm still trying to get through that. And Wind Waker HD, and Tropical Freeze, and the Mario and Luigi series, and the Paper Mario series, and then
I gotta get
Resident
to
Evil
Tropical
7.
Freeze too.
Yeah.
You should definitely
Very
scrap
behind.
like half of those and play Resident Evil 7 before some of them, for sure.
Jacob, do you have games on your list? I'm curious to know what some of them are.
I really want to replay Darksiders 2.
Okay, games you haven't played but you want to play. I'm adding Darksiders 2 though. I'm literally jotting this down as we talk about it.
I want to replay Rayman Legends. I don't really have anything that I haven't played that I want to play. Not that I can think of, at least.
Well, you're gonna be able to replay Rayman Legends on the Switch.
I actually just bought it for the Wii U the other day because I had it for the Vita, and then I sold my Vita and got a PlayStation 4. So I was like, I want the best version of this game. So I bought the Wii U version because the Wii U version is the best version of that game, no matter what anyone says.
Well, it was supposed to be for the Wii U first.
And that too.
And then the Wii U was... And then Ubisoft was like, oh, God, PS4, Xbox, save us. And then the game got delayed for 6 months, even though it was finished. And then it came out. And then the Wii U sales were terrible for Rayman Legends because they delayed it. And they released it the same month Grand Theft Auto 5 came out. So that's a great game, but bad execution. Sales-wise.
And then Reggie found the CEO of Ubisoft and just butt raped him until he forced him to come out with Rayman Legends on the Wii U. That's what happened.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, just shoved
Saw
a
it.
gag
Gone
ball in
exposed.
his mouth and just made him scream that Rayman Legends would come out without taking
When
the
I had
gag ball out.
said-
So it was a long time before he could understand what he was
When I
saying.
said that this podcast was missing an important element, that's exactly what I was talking about, Jacob.
Oh my god,
It was a shame that you were not here 2 weeks ago to say such things.
Oh my mind. It's because like half the time I record these, I'm either in just kind of like a meh mood, or I'm tired, or something. So whenever I'm trying to formulate like something in my brain, it just doesn't come off right, and then people mistake me for being apparently a sarcastic, blunt asshole, and they think I'm serious when I'm not. So it's all my fault, guys. It's all my fault.
Well, we do have a couple questions. Should we take a break and then go to those questions?
Let me really quick just say like a couple more things about Resident Evil 7. The game as a whole, like I said before, it's a true return to form, and I'm gonna have a dedicated Nate Jacob video about this because I have a lot more to say, and it's gonna be a good time, guys. I got some fun sketches I want to do for it. But it's a true return to form for the series. It's actually scary. I mean, there are very few games out there that actually do scare me, and it is deliciously horrifying at times. I mean, deliciously. There's so many times where I just had to take a second and stop and kind of regroup because there's some really messed up things in that game. And, I mean, there are times where I'm actually afraid to go around the corner. And they do a very good job of balancing the ammo that you get and using melee weapons and not shoving too much action in your face, but also not making it feel too much like the original games where the combat is clunky and awkward. Like the combat in this game is just slow enough to be kind of like frustrating and add to the horror element, but it's not like so clean and quick to where it feels like Resident Evil 5 and 6 to where it's just way too easy to kill anything. So it's a very amazing combination of survival horror elements and things like Outlast and Amnesia: The Dark Descent. I was very, very into it, and I'm definitely going to replay it again, and I don't replay a lot of games that quickly anymore. Like, I usually, the second I finish something, I just move right into the next thing, but I actually might have to, like, replay this, because apparently I think there's a couple endings you can get, so I'm very interested to see what the other one is. I got one of the endings, but it seems like it's really going to take a massive turn somewhere else, and there are a lot of Easter eggs I feel like I still haven't found. So if you were on the fence about getting this because you are a huge Resident Evil fan and you thought it was going to be too much of a departure, definitely don't think that way, because a lot of people thought that same way about 4, and look how good 4 turned out to be. Like, it was a masterpiece. It's still one of the best games ever created, in my humble opinion. But 7 kind of, I think they have the same mindset they had when making the first few games that they had with 7. I mean, they really brought it back, and they really emphasized the horror like aspect of this, and damn, it's good. It's really good. That's all I want to say right now, because I want to make a dedicated video about it. So yeah.
Good. I'll have to try that on PC. And I've heard that the Xbox version is not so great. Is that correct?
That's because the Xbox One sucks.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna blatantly say it.
Well, okay. Well then,
let's move to the commercial.
Yeah. I would like to emphasize, though, the Xbox One is a steaming pile of dog shit, and if you like it, your opinion is wrong, and I'm right.
Okay, and we go to break.
All right, bye.
Did you guys, I don't remember what you guys answered last week. Did you answer what is the most disgusting food that's eaten by people regularly?
Yes, and that was one of the questions I was going to ask you earlier, but instead we chose to talk about Star Wars and George Lucas raping children's buttholes and stuff.
That's nice.
And it got really weird. Yeah.
Well,
it probably would have been better if we would have just stuck to the questions I was going to ask you initially.
Nah, it was fine. It was fine. We did what the audience wants us to do. They don't want us to talk about games. They want us to talk about child rape.
Oh my gosh.
That's what they want. Did we do this favorite video game antagonist question?
I don't know. I thought that was one of the older ones we had ignored like a long time ago.
Well, let's answer it now. So, that's a great way to bounce back into the game here. So Sloopy J asks, because you already heard me say it, what are your favorite video game antagonists?
Lord Farquaad in Shrek 2.
That's a good one. Is there a Shrek 2 game? Like, there's got to be a Shrek 2 game.
There is.
Oh my
god. It's on the GameCube.
Oh, it's
I've actually never
fantastic.
played it. I've never played it, but I really want to. It's like it's a 3D platforming kind of game, kind of like
Oh.
Banjo-Kazooie.
I miss all
you
those
play
like
as Shrek.
licensed 3D platformers based on every like kids movie that we got back in the early thousands. Those were great.
Mm-hmm.
They were
And like
so
the SpongeBob
bad.
Battle for Bikini Bottom. That was actually a decent one. You ever played that one?
Yeah, that was
on
on the
the
GameCube,
GameCube?
wasn't it?
Yeah, that one was pretty good.
I actually do remember playing that. Like, it wasn't half bad. It wasn't half bad.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's probably what inspired Super Mario Odyssey, because they looked at SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom like, guys, look at the amazing open world aspect of this game, and we really need to get back to this. Not what we did in Super Mario
Exactly.
Sunshine, but like this game had it. This game was on it. So that's what we need to emulate here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we answered that. Oh, we actually didn't answer that one. I forgot to say. I think one of my favorites is Ganon. I like me some Ganondorf. I gotta give him some love. But I also like Xehanort from the Kingdom Hearts saga. Very good villain. And hopefully we finally actually get to see everything come to fruition soon in Kingdom Hearts 3, but that's probably not going to come out until I'm like 45 years old. And then I'll get to see it, and then my kid will look at me and be like, Daddy, why are you playing this game with anime weeaboo characters and Disney characters? And I'm like, shut up! Go back to bed!
And then what about you, Scott? What's your favorite character?
I'm gonna
protagonist?
I'm gonna say the blocks from Tetris, which really, like they will overwhelm anyone and everyone eventually.
The
They are
green,
the most evil thing.
the green
that has
one
ever been
sucks.
conceived. I mean, they work in tandem with each other, and when I see them coming down, I feel a sense of sheer terror. It's remarkably evil, those Tetris blocks.
But
that,
what's so
and I would
great
s-
is that you can kill them too.
And
So
well, that's true,
satisfyingly.
but they never stop coming at you. I would also
Yes.
say Gygus from Earthbound,
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
or Gigas, or however we want to say it.
He's still confusing us over 20 years later with how to pronounce his
That's
name.
true.
That's how evil he is.
Well, I think Jacob, you like had some issue with it previously, and then that made me feel doubtful, and so now I don't know.
That's
I
what
don't
I
know how
do.
to say
I just
that.
confuse people, and that's okay. I would like to alter my answer slightly and kind of bounce off of what Scott said about Tetris. I think the worst video game antagonist is the glitch in Tetris that forces my hand to hit over just at the last second as I'm about to get a Tetris, about to get that long Tetris or Tetramino piece to clear out 4 lines. And George Lucas. Next question.
Oh my god!
How much do you guys weigh?
Wow, that's a great question.
I think I'm approaching 270 pounds. No, I'm getting up there though. I've gained a lot of weight actually. I think I'm at like 170 now, maybe.
You need to
Yeah,
stop
I
eating
was,
all that coffee from work.
Yes, Scott.
Well, it's the heavy cream I put in there. I don't put half and half in my coffee. I put pure, thick fat in there. I'm not even joking.
Just pure lard. That's okay. I'm just picturing you like dipping lard in a vat of coffee beans and shoving it in your mouth instead of actually brewing it.
I've done a chunk of butter in my coffee before.
That is disgusting.
It's not bad, honestly. It's really not bad.
That sounds so disgusting.
If you like coffee, it's not bad.
You sounded like a huge Texan right there when you said that. I'm just letting you know. I stuck a... Okay. Nathino, how much do you weigh, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, I weigh 185 pounds, but it might not sound that bad, but I'm 5'9", so now I'm a little chubby, and only about a year and a half ago, I weighed 150. So thanks to YouTube and school
And Papa John's.
and Papa
Red Bull.
John's, a little bit of Papa John's, a lot of Red Bull, I've gained about 35 pounds, which is not good. So yeah, that's how much I weigh.
Papa constantly being in your house is causing you to gain weight. You need to get him out of
I
there. He's
know.
overstayed his welcome.
I know, but but it's Papa. You can't get rid of the Papa.
I know. I like Papa crashing on my couch and constantly shoving pizza in my mouth.
No, he just gives me pizza every day. It's the greatest.
Oh, gotta love Papa. Gotta love Papa.
I do think it's all the Red Bull I drink that makes me gain weight. Because
Lot of
all
sugar.
that sugar, man, yeah. It's
Yeah.
either if I'm not drinking Red Bull, I'm drinking soda. If I'm not drinking soda, I'm drinking
Ooh.
sweet tea. So it's either I'm drinking an energy drink, soda, or sweet tea. All those things have sugar in it. So
cut out like all of that, or at least cut out the soda and the sweet tea, and you'll shed like 10 pounds right away.
Yeah, I
Yeah, for
actually
sure.
have basically cut out soda and sweet tea. I just do energy drinks now, and I did lose a little bit of weight. Like, I'm not gaining anymore. I've kind of just been stuck in the 180 range for the past
Yeah.
few months now. So I do still want to drop like 20 pounds if I can.
Well, nice. Well, I weigh
about
about
you?
170, and I'm 6'3", for anyone who's curious about my height. And I think I shocked a lot of people last year when I saw them at Too Many Games, and they
No,
found
you
out
were like so tall.
Yeah, they found out I was like a behemoth. And I apologize if I scared the children away. If you didn't want to come talk to me because I was so tall, I'm sorry.
It's
Well,
really
you
funny.
and John are both very tall.
Yes. Yes, we are. Yeah, he's 6'5", so he's even taller than me.
Jeez.
How tall are you, Scott?
I'm-
I'm curious.
I'm like 5'11", so I'm significantly like shorter than you are.
Well, that's
Well, you're
okay.
taller than me. I'm 5'9".
Okay, let's do one more by Tom. We'll end with Thomas the Dank Engine, because it's always fun. He asked us like 16 days ago, what are your thoughts on Mother 3 coming to the West? Do you think it's going to happen?
No.
Yes.
I don't know, and I want it to.
I'm making a bet with both of you right now. Not gonna happen.
I'm trying so hard to forget. It's just like with Diddy Kong Racing 2 and F-Zero and Dr. Mario actually getting like a full-fledged console release again. I just try to forget about all these things, but I can't. I mean,
We got Dr. Luigi. It's like the same game, isn't it?
oh, I mean, I want like a physical Dr. Mario game because I'm a physical guy. I like my physical games. But
I think we will get Mother 3 by the end of 2018. That's what I think. That's my prediction.
I think they'll announce it at the end of 2018 and release it in 2024
I would love
on the
so
Nintendo
badly
Switch U.
on the Switch U. Yeah. I would love so badly if Nintendo touted this as like a brand new game. Like they didn't even act like it ever released in 2006 in Japan. Like it was the next chapter in the Earthbound trilogy. That would be amazing.
They'll just release it as a native Switch title.
Yeah. And for some, like, they just paid off the guys who did the English translation like 8 years ago. Like, guys, like, can we just pay you for this ROM? Can we just do that? And then it's just an entirely new thing. It's gonna be called like Earthbound 4, and then we're all wondering what happened to like the second and third one. It'd be fantastic.
Jacob, we talked about this a couple weeks ago, but you remember what was going on with Super Mario Brothers, right? And how they figured out that Nintendo probably downloaded a Mario Brothers ROM and then sold it back to people on the Virtual Console.
Are you,
And so when you play Super Mario Brothers on the Virtual Console,
What?
that's what you're.
are you
Yeah.
serious?
I
No
watched
joke.
a video. I watched a video on it the other day, and they were talking about how there's I forgot exactly what the terms are, but there's specific
digital
types
signature.
of code. Yeah, the
Yeah.
signature defines if it's the original version or the emulated version, and if you
Yeah.
they took the code from the Wii U Virtual Console Mario Bros. And it had the emulated signature on it, which
Yep.
is crazy. That they probably actually did that. Like, what the hell?
That makes me so happy. Oh my god.
It's so hilarious.
That's fantastic. Oh, that's definitely. I want to leave everyone on that note because I don't want them thinking about anything else, even if that is a couple weeks old now. That's great. Well, even though we already introduced ourselves about 50 minutes ago, Nathaniel, tell the people where you hail from on the internet.
You can find me. Just look up Nathaniel Bandy on YouTube. I post videos about 2 to 3 times a week. I got top 10s, reaction stuff, random discussions about the Switch. I make triggered videos where I trigger people. It's really fun.
Yeah, he makes some fun stuff, and if you ask your mom about him, she'll probably recognize him by name because everyone's heard of Nathaniel Bandy.
And she'll scream and tell you to stay away, which means you need to subscribe because that is what you actually need.
Yeah, if your mom
Your
tells you to
life.
stay away from something, that means that it's probably fun, so you should go towards it.
Yes.
Wow. What a message, Jacob.
What a message. I know. That's what I'm here for. This is what you guys missed on the Digicast number 21.
It is.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right.
And with Scott Lee, our other regular here, what do you do?
So I just launched a company. It's called Eliga Corporation. You can find its website at eligacorp.com. That's ELEGA corp.com. Also, it looks like for the YouTube channel for that, people on Twitter are voting for me to do game development tutorials. So I might be doing some videos on teaching people how to do like Unity games and stuff like that. That might be cool. So
That's cool.
that might be what I'm doing soon.
Yeah, so go check that out at eligacorp.com. And you can find him at Scott Lee on Twitter. And then if you have any interest in following my Twitter, it is at IndieJacob. And I also do things on YouTube. So, yeah, go find those.
Subscribe.
Yep. And with that, guys, thanks for listening to the Digicast. It's always fun here. And next week we'll come back better prepared. Probably not. So, yeah.
We really should, though. I think we will. Yeah. But thanks for listening to this entire thing.
We will, because I will have a lot to talk about. Because I will... Actually, I'm not going to spoil anything unless you follow me on Twitter. You already know. But yeah, I will have a lot to talk about next Sunday. So
indeed.
I wonder what it is. I
wonder
what it is. It's probably about something Nintendo related. Oh my gosh.
Bye.
Bye.